the wrong scene. All right, can y'all hear me? Sound check. What's up, y'all? Let me know if audio is straight. Am I in focus? No. I think that's good. I'm using the Focus Pro. This little thing right here, man. All right, man. Audio check, visual check. Let me know in the comment section if everything sounds cool or not. We should be straight right there. But let me know, as usual. I know we didn't plan tonight's stream, so might not have people in here, but you know, that's all right. That's all right, y'all. So let me know in the comment section if everything looks good, sounds good. I do have coffee. And it is Black Rifle coffee. Really good coffee. So I'm gonna just get the comments. What day is it? It's a Monday night. People are probably sleeping all that crap already. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. But somebody said I misspelled the title. Yeah, I fixed that. Good looking out. I appreciate that. But y'all know how we get on at the start of every stream. Let me know where you from. What camera you rocking? Let me know. Andrew B, what up? Where you from and what camera are you rocking? And today we got to talk about these firmware updates that Lumix came out with today. And whatever else type of shield stuff y'all want to talk about. So where you from? And what camera you rocking? I will start. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and right now I'm rocking like 19 different cameras. I have on my desk alone 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have 2 cameras on my bed right now. So I have seven cameras. Okay, this is what being a camera creator is. Like, just cameras freaking everywhere. But Andrew B, what up? Notification squad in here early. I appreciate you, dog. I might have to change the title to something more clickbait. Something like S1R Mark II overheating. Yo will love that. Maybe I need to change it. How was build? I actually didn't go, man. I didn't go. And I'm pretty sad that I didn't go. Everybody and their mama went to build except for Tight Shirt Terry. You wanna know why? Because all of my sponsors, well, potential sponsors that was supposed to be paying for the trip was like, nah, bro, we don't want to spend that money on you no more. I don't know, maybe I said something. Maybe I just didn't convert enough sales for them. But, you know, the sponsors still sent a lot of people. But me, they was like, Terry, go on, get up out of here, bruh. And to be honest, I just wasn't trying to come out of pocket. I spent a lot of money at Cinegear. I wasn't planning on. I don't really feel like Cinegear was all, you know, worth the money I spent. Because I ended up spending, I mean, when it was all said and done at Cinegear, I don't know, at least a couple $100. You know, when we go on these creator events, even if you do have coverage, most times the you know, the places that will fly you out will only cover like hotel accommodations. They'll cover rental cars, but you're still responsible for your own food. And everybody like to eat all the time, bro. Like literally all the time. That's all we do on these creator trips is eat. I mean, everybody got expensive taste, so you know we be spending a lot of money. Giovanni, yo, what up? I tried out that Black Rifle coffee you recommended. The medium roast is pretty good. I've been rocking with the Spirit of 76. Hey, you see what's in this cup right now, Giovanni? I don't know if you can see it or not, but Black Rifle. All black, a little bit of sugar in it. Just getting home from the gym, International Chest Day. I feel that, man. I ain't go to the gym today. I should have, because I feel like a little punk. But I didn't make it to the gym. Tommy Nguyen. Is that how you say it? New sub. ABK, what up? Tommy, what up, man? Hope you're doing well. Where y'all from? And what camera are you using? And tell me some good news, man. Just working out, too. Working on the bag today. That's what's up. I'm probably doing heavy bag tomorrow. All Lumix needs to do now is 4K 240 and 2K 960 with 2 to 3 second recording bursts. We are spoiled, Joe. Look at these snob requests right here from Corpino. We about to talk about these firmware updates though. I think Lumix is crushing it though. Sean R, Mr. Shill Daddy himself in the chat. So if y'all have any questions, you know, Sean is the man himself from Lumix Marketing. He is the shield leader. But no, seriously, Sean pops up in all of our streams. Even if we're not talking positive stuff about Lumix, like he's still there. No matter if it's me, Kofi, Cam, B. Washington, Jarrell, Chris, Lee, Sean is out here, boots on ground, my man. So if y'all got any Lumix questions, he your guy. Hit him up. You good, bro, with audio? Appreciate that. So extra. I am extra, bro. This part of being a YouTuber. Get what you mean? Not on the West Coast. Terry. Ooh, I gotta ask you, are you a Lumix user or a Sony user? And after that, Sony is the market. When you buy Lumix, you have to spend more maybe. Which lens manufacturers do Lumix lenses? I'm not really sure what you're trying to say, bro, but I'm going to try to answer some of it. Are you a Lumix user or Sony user? Bro, I'm a camera thought. I don't know if you know what thought means. Okay, look it up. Urban Dictionary, THOT. Okay, I'm not loyal to any camera brand. Lumix is in the chat right now. Love Lumix, not loyal to them either. I use whatever floats my boat for the day. Honestly, right now, I've been using majority Lumix, for real. Like, real talk. Especially the S1R. I'll be using this more than anything. The S1R2 I love, and it got some crazy stuff today with firmware. But my problem right now with the S1R Mark II is I don't know if my thermal you know, if like my thermal paste in this camera is failing or whatever, but just all of a sudden, and I told Sean about this, and you know, Lumix, just like they always do, they're investigating it to find out where the problem will be coming from. But for the first like 3 months I was using the S1R Mark II was rock solid. Like it was people complaining online like, yo, my S1R Mark II be overheating, and I'm just like, bro, I don't know what you doing, because mine ain't overheating at all, bro. And out of nowhere, dog, like literally nowhere, I was shooting a video. It was actually in my truck one day, and it just would not stop overheating non-stop to a point where I couldn't use it. The next day, Sean gave me some recommendations, try a low-level format, try a different media card, did all of that, same overheating. And it's gotten to a point where this is probably my, like, I can't decide which one of these cameras I like better because both of them are so good, right? But the S1R Mark II was getting to a point where I can't trust it. And I'm not even shooting stuff that is like client dependent. All of my stuff is like YouTube stuff. And it's to a point where I don't, you know, I'm starting not to trust it. Now, I haven't tested it out after the firmware that released today. So I don't know if Lumix has made any changes, you know. But right now, this is pretty much my bread and butter. Y'all don't understand how good this S1R is. I'm gonna throw it out there, ABK. Right now, I think As long as you're okay with 24 megapixels, this is the best mirrorless camera. I'm saying it on stream. You can go ahead and snip it, clip it. Go to Threads, call me out. The best mirrorless camera ever made. This camera is wild. So, but to answer your question, I'm not exclusive to anybody until somebody says, yo, Terry, here's money for you to shut up talking about every other camera brand except for ours. And it has to be enough to the point where it will make up for all the money I would lose by not talking about other camera brands. Until that happens, or until I decide that I only want to stick with one camera brand, I'm out here, dog. I got a Nikon on my desk, 3 Lumix cameras on my desk. I got a Blackmagic Pixis that I'm using right now. I got a Sony A7R5, a Sony ZV-E1 over there, and more cameras in the closet. So I'm not like exclusive to anybody. I just use, honestly, whatever feels good for now. And right now, I picked the S1 up over everything. Over every single camera I have, the Lumix S1 gets picked up first. I don't understand the last part of the question. Sony is the market leader. I guess that's what you're trying to say. When you buy Lumix, do you have to spend more? No. Lumix has, in my opinion, the best value cameras out there. They give you the most. Lumix does have, although they don't have a ton of native lenses, they do have the L mount alliance, so you can use any L mount glass. Sigma makes a ton of it. You know, there's a lot of glass out there that you can get. Is it as expansive as Sony's? No, can't nobody touch Sony when it comes to lenses. But you know, Lumix is making their way, man. I'm gonna be honest, this 24-60 was necessary. Like, I needed this. So now that I got a 24-60, man, I haven't felt myself needing to pick my Sony up. The only time like I feel like I need to pick my Sony up is if I want to use like this, the 50mm f1.2 gangster mode. Lumix does make a 50 also, but it's like the size of a missile. Let me not say that word on stream before we get demonetized in this piece. But I got a Sony 300mm f2.8 gangster mode. Like, I don't have nothing like that for Lumix, and I can't even adapt it. So, you know, Sony does still have the advantage with lenses, but you know, that ship only sells so far. Los Angeles in the house, Sony FX3 in the house, Jersey in the house, using the ZF all year long. No new cameras in 2025. I heard that. My ZF is right there. Matter of fact, let's get it. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is, although it's not the most capable camera I own, it's my favorite camera. Cause look at it, bro. Like, every time you walk past this bad boy, you want to pick it up. So, you know, I am in that snobby position where I have camera choices where I get some people may not have that luxury. You know, camera influencers, if that's what you want to call us. Yeah, we have an abundance of camera gear. This is what we do. If you was into cars or weapons, you would have an abundance of that if you had a decent channel. So yeah. It's like, you know, you go with whatever makes you feel good for the day. And my everyday camera, when I'm not shooting anything in specific, when I just want to slap something around my shoulder and I feel something when I use this camera. Pause, okay? But I love the ZF. It's my baby. But I only use it for photography. Although it's a good video camera, I got so many cameras that are way better for video than the ZF, I don't even bother. So the ZF for me is like my Leica or like my Hasselblad. We all from what camera you rocking, and then we're gonna start talking about these Lumix things today. Chicago in the house, sold all of my Sonys and went Lumix. Sheesh. That's heavy, bro. I know Armando made the move. Honestly, the only reason, and this might get me banned from Condo, but the only reason I still have my Sonys is because of the lenses. Or because I'm sure there will be new cameras and lenses that are gonna come and I'm gonna need bodies to put them on. But the ZV-E1 about to get sold. I'm keeping the A7R5 so I have at least one Sony camera. I do love the A7R5, although it's like ain't no point of using it because the S1R Mark II exists. So, like, I don't use them. I don't use my Sony cameras no more, which is crazy. But anyways, I might add in the action cam, but no rush. Yeah. And I'm not even talking about action cameras. I got a closet full of them too. Condor Black in the building. Los Angeles rocking 4 cameras. What I'm talking about. Dennis Allen, Charlotte, FX3, red Komodo. What up, Dennis? BJ Films, what's good, bro? Georgia, FX3. What up, BJ? Boston in the house. My phone till I upgrade. I heard that, bro, and ain't nothing wrong with that. I love that you're not making excuses on, oh, I can't create because I don't have a camera. Yes, you do. It's called right here. It's called right here. Do you know Mr. Beast built his first couple million subscribers before he hired a team and all that with his phone? So when people say, oh, I need to get a camera. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can use right what you got in your hand. Texas, all Lumix things, spoken from Shieldmaster himself. By the way, for y'all that are just joining in, we talking about the Lumix firmware updates. We just doing a roll call real quick. We about to get into all the Lumix stuff and whatever else y'all want to talk about, because we be getting sidetracked like a mug in my streams. We be starting off with cameras and somehow talking about, you know, fist fights in space while drinking coffee on Mars when it's hot outside. That's the type of stuff we end up talking about. But Sean R, I'm not gonna put his last name out there, his government out there, is Lumix marketing rep right here. So if you got questions about Lumix cameras, anything like that, he is your guy. And Sean is real. He ain't one of them sugarcoating, giving you corporate responses, all of that stuff. Like, that's why we rock with him so heavy, because he's goated. That's all I'm gonna say. Auckland, New Zealand. Is that? Wait, New Zealand? NZ. Wait, what is NZ? Oh, yeah, New Zealand, because you said it's Tuesday already. FX30. New Zealand in the house. What up, Ben? Yes. Come on, daughter. We have a wild Talia entering. Yes, daughter. Hi. Hi. You want to say hi? Okay, come on. Watch your toes. Hold on, y'all.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hello.
You're so cute. What you want?
So like how y'all doing this something. One back.
Girl, get out of here. I can't fix nothing about your back.
Why not?
No, come on, watch out, seriously.
Bye.
Daddy's working. Close the door. What? Close the door. All right, where we was at? That's vacations, man. If you're not eating, you ain't trying. True story, Florida, S52. Boulette from Turkey. Man, I'm trying not to torch what you're trying to say. Recently bought a Sony A7 IV Sigma R24-70, and I'm happy. And that's fine, bro. Like, use whatever camera make y'all happy. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Use what make you happy. A7 IV is a great camera. That Sigma 24-70, great lens. Went from a Fuji X-T4 and a 16 to 80 millimeter f4. And in Turkey, I have never seen Lumix users, brother. Lumix is not here. Oh, okay. And I don't know why the dimensions of this are like this. We got super chat real quick. We got to hop to it. Super chat in the house, man. We early. Solomon 321. Thank you, man. $4.99 from Solomon. Y'all know y'all don't have to get these super chats, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Enjoy this time. They grow up quick. Man, she already growing up. She's already growing. Like, man. And my other kids just ain't here. It's only her today. But I appreciate that, bro. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that at all. So I thank you for that super chat so much. We appreciate it from me, my family, man. Thank you so much. We about to get into it, though. All right. Florida, we said that already. All right, so 1 or 2 Canon R5Cs, pre-ordered 2 S1 IIs, and we'll probably do a comparison here in Hawaii. Sheesh. Man. Spoiled. Yep, she sure is. Shield Team 6 in the house. What up, Scam Mackie? My boy. David Rose in the house. Shield Team 6 in the house. What up, Kofi? My boy. Tomorrow, my girl in the house. Chilling hard. Real hard. What up, Tam? I'm sorry, Tom. What you're faffing about. Hope your day got better. Because Lumix is rare in Turkey, there are no secondhand lenses available. They just don't buy Lumix here. That's why I asked, does it cost more for second and available in US? I don't know. I get what you're saying, though. Beulah in the house. Blake, what up? Man, you got a lot of cameras. Let me get one of them, Jack. Astrid, S1H D850. That's a relic. Sigma FP, Komodo 6K, Nikon F4, Leica M4, Hasselblad 501C, and a Milvis lineup. I don't know what Milvis is. It sounds like some cam wears. We need to talk about how ugly Cam and Kofi are. I mean, dog. Both of them look like horses. Like they look like my daughter's here. You know, I'm watching my mom. They look like the back of a horse, dog. Both of them. Just ugly for no reason. Terrible. All right, Tristan. I'm gonna lead us up real quick before we get into it. So first of all, I'm gonna come back to this. Let me finish the roll call real quick. All right, Lumix gang, we're gonna come back to these quick. Reza in the house, Sony Shield in the house. Got music in the feed now. Oh, okay, absolutely. And God bless your work. I just met you and I've seen you live where in my mainstream, to be honest, which is better for your job or for your hobby. You got to use that camera. God bless you also, brother. Won't be upgraded for a minute. Just picked up a second G87 with XLR2, G86, S9, 24 to 70, 7200 on eBay. That's what I'm talking about. Photography and videography is different. If I had FX A7R series, I'd be happy, or just Fuji GFX, Blackmagic, or Arri. I don't care. I need the job done, and I need the best in my hands, brother. Yep, for sure. Kofi is also a camera thought. It's about to be a Lumix, Fuji, and Blackmagic summer. That's a fact. Seattle in the building. Workhorse is my Alpha 1 Mark II, 28 to 70 F2 gangster mode for my line of work. Nothing can hang. Pause. I'm glad you paused that because that's crazy. I'm glad you paused that, Reza. Big ups to you, Terry. Big ups to you. I appreciate that. It's a DJI summer, just getting consistent and learning. What up, Isaac? Lumix 8K. For the price and the tools, who needs lenses, drop the Lumix. All right, Sean said, will there be a Lumix live stream this week? Sean chime in. Sean said the Lumix stream will be up tomorrow. Cats or dogs, why not both? Super chat $4.99. We talked about that one already. Again, thank you. Shout out to Sean. Lumix, yes. Shout out to Sean. Cam used Kelly Song in his latest post. He's invited to the cookout. Yeah, Cam. Listen, let me tell y'all something, all right? Before we get into it, it's a couple people in here that earned their card already, and I'm qualified to give them out, okay? Cam has earned his card. He has. You want to know who else earned their card? Sean. Boy. I ain't going to air Sean out because we have to be very careful with how we handle Sean in the public because he does represent Lumix. Pause. We're not handling him, but you know what I'm trying to say. But yes, off the script, off record, Sean has his card. So Cam and Sean are allowed to come to the cookout. Me and Kofi gave them their cards. They qualified. They in there. Y'all get these likes up. Agreed. Why? Yeah. Black Magic Mafia. What up, Brad? Hit that like button. Brad is a huge supporter of all of us, so thank you for showing up, Brad. Thank you for inspiring me to make YouTube videos. All right, bet. We got through the whole roll call, and thank you for watching my videos. Y'all, I've been uploading a lot of videos for creators that are not gear focused, talking about how to get comfortable on camera, how to build an audience. I dropped one yesterday. I got another one dropping tomorrow. So make sure, I know a lot of y'all are here for gear and all that stuff, but I get a lot of satisfaction out of helping people out. So make sure y'all check them out. Let's go back up. And there was a comment that I want to put on the screen, and then we'll kick this off, right? And all right, Tristan Lofton. I don't know how to say it. One of the two. I've been hearing a lot of reports about Lumix, about the latest. Okay, let me start over. Clearly, I can't read. I've been hearing a lot of reports about the latest cameras overheating. How you found the S1R2 and the S12 in hot shooting conditions. All right. We're going to talk about this, and then we're going to talk about the firmware updates, because these firmware updates are wild. I need to preface this, but it has some real talk, y'all. I don't expect I don't expect any camera except for a cinema camera to not overheat. My expectations, I think, are a little different, right? If a camera overheats, it just overheats. I'm not pissed off about it. I'm not going to like jump off a bridge. If it overheats, it just overheats. I also understand how overheating for some people can be like breaking. You know what I'm saying? There are people who are using these cameras on, you know, shoots where clients are paying for it. So I have to acknowledge that part also. I don't shoot client stuff anymore. It's literally just me being a D-bag with cameras in my studio, outside, filming freaking leaves and stuff in slow motion at f1.2. That's what I'm known for. You know, I got no skill. I'm not a filmmaker. I'm none of those things. With that said, I'm way more forgiving with overheating than some other people are. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying that it's not a big deal to me. Now, I have the S12 right here and the S1R2 right here. Let's start with the S1R Mark II. For the first couple months of me having the S1R Mark II, since we were in Norway, and there were a lot of people that said, oh, Lumix only flew creators to Norway to avoid the overheating. Shut up. That's stupid. I mean, I guess plausible, maybe, but whatever. It wasn't that cold in Norway, bro. It was like 55 degrees there. Well, not 50, like 50 degrees. So it wasn't like freezing cold in Norway. Initially, I had no issues out the S1R2. And I was like in all the people's videos, because there was people uploading videos of the S1R Mark II has a horrible heating problem. And I'm like, just bro, shut up. Shut up. All right. And I wasn't saying that people were not having overheating with the S1R Mark II. You do have to realize that we are talking about cameras, okay? And I'm not making excuses. I just want to give y'all the opposite end of it to maybe help you get over the pain point of overheating, okay? We are dealing with cameras these days. Like the S1R Mark II is basically a cinema camera in a mirrorless camera body. That means it is doing so much data transfer, oversampling, image processing. The heat has to go somewhere. Even when they're having a fan. When you were talking about an 8K signal having to be oversampled to 7.2K, 6K, 5 whatever K, 5.9K, 4K, like that takes a massive amount of processing. You know what the byproduct of processing is, y'all? Heat. So I'm saying that to say that, yes, cameras, especially modern cameras and small bodies, not just Lumix, but Sony, Fuji, all of them are prone to overheating at one point or another. Now, with saying that, my S1R2 was rock solid for the first, 3 months we went to Norway back in November. And for the first 3 months, and I was using it all the time. YouTube videos in the studio, out the studio. On, it was warm outside, warm in the studio. No overheating problems. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bro, it was one day I was filming a video in the car. And, I mean, same thing I'm always doing with the S1R Mark II. Same stuff. Same recording format, same storage media cards, everything. Fan on the same temperature, and it just would not stop overheating. Like, it was bad. To a point where I hit Sean up like, bro, something going on. Because why would it not be overheating all this time, and then all of a sudden, on a day where it's not hot at all, it's overheating like this? So Sean was like, well, maybe it's the storage card, because CF Express cards generate a lot of heat. Maybe try a different card, try SD cards, try low-level format. Unfortunately, none of that has worked on my S1R Mark II, all right? I'm not saying it's not usable, but when it comes to like longer clips of 25, 30 minutes or more, it's getting to a point where I don't trust this camera. Now, here's the other thing, y'all. You got to remember, this is not really a video camera. Well, I mean, it is, right? But it's a photo first camera. So Lumix took a photo first camera, dumped a whole lot of video features in it. But this body might not be the best for handling it. Now, the S1 II, on the other hand, ever since the S1R started overheating on me, even though it's not a big deal, like I said before, do I want to deal with it? No. I want to deal with overheating because it stops your workflow. So I started picking up my S1 II instead. And since I've used this camera, it has not overheated on me one time. And it's hot in Ohio right now, bro. Like 80, 90 degrees. It's hot. Not one time. I haven't even got an overheat warning on the S1 Mark II yet. Now, why would that be? First of all, I don't know if it's something wrong with my S1R2 or if there was a bad batch of them, because it seems like all of a sudden there's a bunch of us having the same overheating issues. So I don't know if maybe it was a run or a pre-production run that had maybe bad thermal paste or thermal compound or something like that. I don't know. But this bad boy right here, rocking and jocking. So I'm answering that question. The S1 II is having to oversample much less. It's only technically it's 24 megapixels is enough for 6K. So it's a 6K sensor, and going from 6K to 4K or 6K to 5K doesn't require anywhere near as much processing power as going from 8K to 6K or 5 point whatever K or 4K. You get so on and so forth. And it's been rock solid. So there's your answer. Can the cameras overheat? Absolutely. Especially in their most demanding modes, for sure. However, and this is what's up. Sean just texted me, gonna want to probably get your S1R Mark II swapped out so the engineers can take a look. This is why I mess with Lumix, bro. And this is right here. Sean, I'm sorry for airing you out like that, but this is why. Like, we go to Lumix with our problems. They say, we're going to look into it. We care. We care that this has affected you. And the fact that Sean just texted me, say, you know what, Terry? I acknowledge that's a problem. I'm going to get you a new camera. Maybe something wrong with it. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But the fact that he like, we got to fix this problem. I can't think of any other camera company. I'm just going to be honest. And I work with them all. Except for Hasselblad, because they don't like me. Or Leica. They don't like me either. Fuji kind of likes me sometimes, but not really. But yeah, I can't think of any other camera company that would just say, you know what, Terry, let me take care of that. I appreciate that, Sean. So yeah, but anyways, let's get on to it, right? Let's get on to it. Yeah, get these likes up, man. That's real talk. It really comes down to codec and frame rate with the heat. I had an OG A1 overheat multiple times on the shoot today, but I had it in the hot room shooting 4K 60 for long takes. It's demanding stuff, y'all. You're basically packing a Corvette engine inside of a Chevy Corolla. Chevy doesn't make Corollas. That's crazy. Toyota Corolla. You're putting a Corvette engine in a Toyota Corolla, okay? Sean said overheating is very prone if Lumix tested cards are not used for yeah. So yeah, CF Express cards generate a lot of heat. And there are cards that Lumix recommends because they don't generate as much heat. But I even still have the issue with regular SD cards, which tells me it's not it could be, CF Express could be contributing, but that's not the cause, because if it was the cause, if I used a regular standard SD card, then you know. But and again, my S1 II rock solid, and my S1R2 hasn't developed this problem till within the last couple weeks. So I don't know what's going on with it. And that's what it is. Badass photo first cameras, for real. There you go. Sean said cards are a big factor, but like any electronic, there could be an issue with something internally, for sure. Y'all gotta also remember these cameras, no matter how good the quality control is and all of that stuff, bad apples happen out of every bunch. You might buy an $8,000 Leica that could have issues. You might buy a $100,000 Lexus that has issues. Like, it's manufactured. All right, but anyways, on to the firmware updates. Let's talk about the firmware updates. All right, now the S1 II already had a ton. So the S1 II already had like USB streaming, urban AF mode. Like the S1 II had pretty much everything. Really, the only thing the S1 II needed was multiple frame markers. That was a big thing for me. And I'm actually about to just pull up the update list. But the S1 II was already pretty complete. It was the S1R2 that needed everything. So I think the S1R2 has the most significant update. First of all three S1R Mark II, S1 Mark II, and S1 IIe now have Arri LOG C3, which for me, I'm gonna be honest, is not that big of a deal. I don't really care about Arri LOG. I also filmed two of my videos at Arri LOG C, and I guess for me, like, Lumix Vlog is already so good. Like, there's not that big of a difference between Lumix Vlog out of one of the S1 cameras and Arri LOG C. The benefit to Arri LOG C is, in case you need to color match, you know, exact, or maybe if you wanted to use one of these as like a crash cam or a B or C cam to like a Arri Alexa Mini LF or whatever it's called, then yeah, I mean, it's a almost, and I don't do these tests. If you want to see the side-by-side test with Arri Alexa Mini LFs and RFs and ZF14s and whatever other cameras Arri makes, go hit up Kofi and Cam, because they do all that nerdy stuff. I don't use Arris. I've never touched the Arri, and no, that's a lie. Okay, we shot a film that had Arri Alexa Mini LFs. I touched it. I did. I put my fingers on it, but I've never operated it. So I couldn't tell you the difference between the two of them. Kofi has sent us some screenshots, and I can't tell no difference, okay, between an Arri Alexa Mini LF or whatever Arri he was using and one of these bad boys. But that should tell you how good the color science is out of these Lumix cameras, especially now with Arri LOG C3. Again, I couldn't tell the difference, but you know, I'm not comparing them side by side. It looks freaking amazing. That's what I'm gonna tell you. All right. The other thing is we got multiple frame markers. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go to Lumix's website. We're gonna start with the S1R. No, we're gonna go to Instagram. Okay, we're gonna start with the S1R Mark II, because that's where the major updates came in. So the S1R Mark II now, all of these get multiple frame markers, which is amazing. So if you shoot open gate, you can put 3 different frame markers on the screen at one time, which is huge. And they can also be different sizes, different colors. All of them have wireless tethering with Capture One if you do like photography work in the studio. The S1R Mark II now has 8.1K and 7.2K open gate. Did you hear what I said, bro? Sis, did you hear what I said? 8.1K and 7.2K open gate. Not pixel bin, no, none of that. Full readout. I think 7.2K might be like, I don't know, over 7, whatever. But 8.1K, 7.2K, you still got 6K 30, 5.9K, all of that stuff, open gate, all right? for the S1R Mark II. It also got multiple frame markers. The S1R Mark II also now has USB streaming. All of them now will have Arri LOG C3. However, it is a paid update. Arri ain't giving that away for free, dog. Arri ain't giving that away for free. And this is not just like a profile. No, this is an actual like color space thing that Lumix co-developed with Arri LOG. Like Arri had to approve it. Like this isn't something where Lumix was like, yo, we want to try to emulate Arri. No. They developed this in conjunction with Arri, which is why it took so long. Because Arri ain't putting a name on anything unless it meets certain criteria, range, curves, all of that, all right? So not only that, they got multiple frame markers, USB live streaming, Arri LOG C3. The S1R Mark II gets the 8.1K, 7.2K, open gate. They all now have the new freaking, I'm getting hot, man. I'm getting real hot. I'm getting freaking hot, yo. The new 2:4:1 built-in cinema scope, you know what I'm trying to say, you know, in regular mode. Like you don't have to use the anamorphic lens or anything like that. And a whole lot more. I'm trying to pull up the whole list in here. How much does the Arri LOG update cost? I'm not really sure. But basically everything that the S1 II had that we were jealous about the S1R Mark II not having, it has it. So there's other things that like we don't that you don't know with this camera. And a lot of them aren't being talked about. Obviously, freaking false color. These cameras can actually copy files from the camera internally to like a SSD. Like you could do that in these cameras. I've never heard of that on any other camera outside of Lumix cameras. Let me get back to these comments because I'm sure I'm not explaining everything right. Tamara said, I'm not gonna lie, I'm about to jump over to Lumix. Come on, hey, the tea is sweet over here. A Corvette Corolla, he right. I did shoot like 700 gigs of footage for the Arri LOG C update. Yeah, Kofi is like the man for this one. So go to his page because he got all the footage, right? Sean, you know, they sponsored him and all the other stuff, you know. Shout out to Kofi. Shout out to Lumix for that. Sean, we need a wide zoom lens that's 2.8, pretty please. Yeah, we've been yelling at. Bro, that needs to be in the center body with amazing thermals. Not trying to bash the heat thing, but I'm guessing it's gonna overheat super fast in those high resolution. Yeah, like I mean, and people will say, is it gonna overheat in 8.1 or 7.2K? Probably. Those are the most demanding modes that the camera has. Nerd way of explaining. Okay, Kofi with Kofi. All right, here we go. This is a shield explanation. Nerd way of explaining. DaVinci color space transform doesn't account in sensor differences between cameras. For example, a color space transform on Sony can't tell if the S-Log 3 is from an FX3, A7 IV, FX6 Burano, etc. And I think he has more. Arri LOG C tunes the log curve to the center of each camera. That's why there are separate licenses. There you go. All right. I've just watched the review on the Arri LOG C3 update. You're the only one who has thought of a side-by-side comparison with the Alexa. So, guard. Thanks for putting out this. This is why he got paid. Okay? Because I don't have Arri. I don't have a freaking Arri. So they picked the right person to do it. That's dope, Kofi. So here's the thing about Phantom LUTs. Say what y'all want, bro. But I use Phantom LUTs on, I ain't gonna say everything because I got my own LUTs too. But Phantom LUTs, although yes, they do have log curves in them, you could still just color space transform to Rec 709 and then slap on a Phantom LUT at like 20% opacity, saucy color grade, moody filmic color grade. Without, I mean, you know, I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah, this is why Kofi got paid. They knew not to come to me because, you know, if they would have came to me, they'd be like, Terry, we need you to test some Arri LOG C3 versus Lumix S1 Mark II. And I would be like, great. I'm going to go right outside over there, and there's geese on the ground and leaves. And I'm going to film all of them, okay, in 4K 120. F1.2. No, seriously. So let me pull up the rest of it because obviously I'm missing something on these firmware updates, and I want to read the whole list off. So S1R2 firmware. And by the way, these firmware updates are available today. What it do? What's up, man? All right, I'm pulling up the actual update list so I can stop just rambling off stuff. Finally, my air kicked back in. Oh my goodness. All right, let me actually pull up. They make it so difficult just to find the freaking update list. All right, I got it. All right, S5, S1R. This is the old one, bro. Like, I need the updated one. Hold up. All right, so, oh yeah, all right, so the S1R Mark II, I already talked about, it's got, yeah, the updates are out now. So y'all can actually go grab these firmware updates now. So the S1R2 now supports 8.1K, 7.2K, OpenGate. Raw data video can be output via HDMI for external recording now. Arri LOG C3, we talked about that. The S1R Mark II now supports HEIF and 420 10-bit for photos, which it didn't have before. The S1 II already had that. The S1R Mark II now gets the ghetto sports recognition. Sean, I know you don't like when we say that, but that's what I'm gonna call it. And it's the urban sports recognition, ghetto hood recognition works really good. All right. Frame aspect ratios now have 3 of them. There's now 17 separate ones. The focus stacking is now way better. Direct transfers from CF Express Type B or SD card to an external SSD. That's what I just got done talking about. It's crazy. I've never seen that on another camera. It got the UVC UAC protocol now. So now you can live stream with the S1R Mark II. Bluetooth timecode sync was just added. Compatibility with Bluetooth connectivity with DJI gimbals like the RS4 Mini. HLG View Assist will be available for gradation and exposure checks on the camera's monitor or viewfinder. All right. The focus ring can now be customized on the S1R Mark II. Autofocus colors can now be chosen for 10 different colors. Again, Arri LOG C3. And there's a lot of other small stuff in there. A major update for the S1R Mark II. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. The S1 Mark II already had most of this stuff. But now the S1 Mark II also gets Arri LOG C3, multiple frame markers, all of that stuff. So overall, like, you talk about cameras that was already the best values out there. And then they get firmware updates that make them even better. Like, it's like, what you gonna say? What can you say, bro? What can you say? These updates are cool. I just need them or Sigma to drop a fast telephoto prime lens, and then I'm solid. Facts. Can't wait to install this firmware. The only thing I need from Lumix now is to add touch tracking, autofocus to their cameras. That's my dream up. I agree. Lumix has some tracking ability, right? But that's the only thing they don't have right. Like, just steal it from Sony. Sony got it figured out, dog. Steal it from them. Like, just let anybody touch something on the screen and track that. Y'all can add the ghetto urban autofocus. Okay, y'all can break dancing, twerking. Like, they added all of that. It can track somebody twerking on top of a Camaro. add in touch tracking. Scam Mackie, the S1R2 can do taxes now after today's firmware update. It can literally do everything. Yeah. It could also report you to the IRS. And all, you know what? I'm going to shut up before I get this whole stream canceled. Still waiting on Lumix to drop that 16 to 35 millimeter f2.8. Yes, Sean, we need that. Also, I'm just saying, I've never heard a Lumix update brick your camera. Fair. My boy CJ in the house. Too much camera nerd talk for me. But what up? What up, dog? Shout out to my guy CJ. Hit the like button. Y'all heard him. Hit the like button, man. Lumix is positioning themselves to be on bigger productions. That's where the money is. I doubt that such updates will be added. I don't know, man. If you can't tell, Lumix is... Sometimes I worry is Lumix giving too much. Are they giving too much, bro? Because, like, when they finally want to come out with that camera, you know, the camera, you know what camera I'm talking about. It's like, man, they done set the bar so high. What else? They gonna have to start pulling out the stops. They gonna have to start, you know, bringing a camera that can do crazy stuff. I mean, all the cameras do crazy stuff. But let's step back real quick. Just to remember how much stuff Lumix cameras give you that people don't talk about. Nobody talks about this. False color, vector scopes, waveforms, anamorphic support, anamorphic stabilization, best-in-class stabilization. You got all of these different photography modes, all these different video modes, shutter angle, all of that stuff built into it. Crazy loads of dynamic range, Arri LOG C3, Lumix Lab, which is not talked about enough. Now you can transfer stuff internally from a freaking memory card to a SSD. What? 39 LUTs in the camera that you can put on photos and videos. I can keep going. Like I'm big shilling right now. But it's like I can't understand how people have any crap to talk about these. I can't. This is... I'm gonna shut up. I'm shilling way too hard right now. I'm not getting paid for this. I needed to transfer images to a SSD this past weekend on my S1 II, but you can't use an SSD that is more than 2 terabyte. Didn't know that. A 2 terabyte SSD is the max that you can use. Thanks for sharing that. But I'm going to offer a counterpoint. He's right probably, but what other cameras could even do that? Facts. Sean, if you are still here, bro, I'm going to tell you what we need. We need anamorphic D-squeeze over USB-C. Okay? We've told you before, Sean, you got to make it happen. Okay, I'm sick of hooking up this big old Blackmagic Pixis and rigging it out. I just want to use this. No tax B&H Payable Cam. There you go. Arri LOG, I think the license is $200. I would say we're more about democratizing, that's a word, filmmaking features and capabilities to more people, not liking them behind higher end. That's what I'm talking about. Sean, I gotta leave this comment on the screen right here. See, people be talking all this trash about Lumix, and I'm gonna put Sony on the hot seat. Shout out to Sony. I mean, I got nothing against none of these camera brands, y'all. I don't care. I'm not exclusive to nobody. I'm going to say what I want, how I want to say it. So I'm putting Sony on the hot seat right now. Sony locks professional features behind product lines. Example. And they're not the only ones, okay? I'm just using Sony as an example. Because they still don't give you freaking shutter angle on a camera unless it's designated FX, which is so stupid. Because the ZVE1 is the same imaging chain and sensor as an FX3 and an FX6 and an FX9, but it can't get shutter angle because it's not a FX camera. Lumix has been putting shutter angle in cameras since you was still sucking on your mother's for milk. Every camera that they drop has shutter angle, vector scopes, waveforms. You can put them on the screen. Histogram and waveforms and vector scopes and false, they got false color now, and anamorphic D-squeeze for multiple different anamorphic stabilization, best in class stabilization. Like, They give you all of this stuff as standard fare. This ain't nothing where you gotta go buy the premium camera to get access to this stuff. So, you know, it's one thing to say something, it's another thing to show it. I think Lumix has pretty much shown this over the last decade of making mirrorless cameras. We're not going to hold back features and make you buy something more expensive unless you want to go buy something that's more capable. Meaning, our cheapest camera, the Lumix S9. Guess what it got, y'all? Guess what it got? Well, I ain't gonna say cheapest camera, but one of our cheapest cameras, the Lumix S9. You wanna know what this got? Shutter angle, 6K 30 open gate, vector scopes, waveforms, anamorphic D-squeeze, multiple frame markers. The list goes on and on and on. So shout out to Lumix for that. With the S1 camera be so good, what could be this? This is the point I was just making. I don't think y'all understand how good this camera is. I have never been more rizzed about a camera. This is the most complete camera you can buy, hands down. S1 II should cost more than it does. Punches way above its price point, and it's so good. Like, what do you put in an S1H Mark II? You have to do something crazy. And we know that we got a new S1, we got a new S1R. Next gotta be maybe a S1H. Maybe it's a box style camera, we don't know. But yeah, what do you throw at it? Because you already threw everything you can at these cameras. Sean said, drop a box style cinema camera. We all waiting. Hey Sean, you heard it. They just need to have a camera with all these features and internal NDs, and the game is over for everybody. I'm gonna agree. It's a wrap when Lumix drops a camera with internal NDs. Facts. The S1 II, damn. Hey, I'm telling you, man. I don't. This is the first camera where honestly I don't need to pick up another camera for anything. Okay, anything is a lie. 24 megapixels for me, I would like more for photography. Is there anything wrong with 24 megapixels? Absolutely not. Nothing. But when you're used to higher megapixels, sure. But then that's why there's an S1R Mark II if you want more megapixels. But 24 megapixels for general photography is more than enough. But yeah, aside from that, I literally, y'all, cannot complain about the S1 II at all. It has made me put down every single other camera that I use. I wouldn't get rid of the ZVE1 for anything because of the low light performance and because of 4K 120 and the readout speed. Guess what? S1 II handles all high ISOs up to about 20,000 better than an FX3 and an FX6, FX9, ZVE1. You don't believe me? Go on Armando's channel and look at his low light test. It's wild. With this having a second base of 5,000, how much cleaner it is than the highly touted second base ISO of the FX3 ZVE1 at 12,800. However Lumix is doing it, it's crazy. So I no longer need the ZVE1 for low light capability because this is better. For my use case, I'm not shooting anything where I'm at 100,000 ISO. At that point, I'm not shooting nothing. And 4K 120. It's got it. Is the 4K 120 out the Sony ZVE1 better? Yes. But better to a point where anybody will recognize? No. So it's like, I don't need no other camera than this right here. For real. What camera's filming this? The Blackmagic Pixis 6K. Maybe sell my FX3 A7S3, coming back to Lumix like a prodigal son. Sean R, please forgive me for switching to Sony, but I've come back now. Hey, they winning people back, man. So I've seen a few videos that showed the S1R overheats. Have you had any issues with that? I just pre-ordered mine. No, we talked about overheated like 30 minutes ago. My S1 Mark II has never overheated on me at all. Not even the overheat warning. My S1R2 overheats pretty often. Have people getting tongue tied. Have people had overheating with the S1 Mark II? Yes. Have people had overheating with the FX3? Yes. I don't think any camera, unless it's in a cinema body, will never overheat. These are very powerful cameras and super tiny bodies. So yes, you might get some overheat. It hasn't been a concern on the S1 II for me. S1R Mark II is much more prone to overheat. Got Arri on both my GH7s. If you want to record RAW, is it not going to happen? Because RAW is RAW, correct? I'm not sure what you mean. New sub, DZF23. What up? Okay, Sean said the 2 terabyte limit issue has been sent up the chain already. Lumix has always been known to continuously update their cameras until the processor can no longer handle the firmware. This is a fact. Side note, the S1 II will tell you that it can't transfer to an SSD over 2 terabytes. I was originally trying to use a 4 terabyte, but it said, whoa, homeboy, you can't do that over 2 terabytes. They will do a box style camera like they did with the S1H, hopefully. Sony phase detect, yeah, never used the Sony, but yeah. Sony still has the best autofocus. They do. But that gap is closing. That's exactly it. Build out the cinema line cameras with no heat issues, then build out the lens lineup. I chatted with my boy who's a pro Lumix shooter, and he wants a 300, 28, 200, 600. Yeah, that's the only thing Lumix is missing is those pro lenses like Sony has. And I mean, there's options. There's Sigma has lenses and stuff like that, but what we're not gonna do is not give Sony their flowers when it comes to lenses. They are killing it. Sony has like 80 native Sony E-mount lenses alone. From cheap all the way up to it costs your grandmother. And then third-party lenses from everybody. Sony has the lens game on lock. Lumix can't touch it. Nikon can't touch it. Fuji, Canon, nobody. Lumix gives way too much. I agree. It's beautiful for us, but it's like, man, you know, all right, I want to know what y'all think about this. So there's an idea that when you give too much, it takes away something's value. Let me equate that. Money doesn't mean that much to a rich person because they have too much of it. When you make yourself over available to people, you lose value to them. The moment you disappear on them, you become the most valuable person ever. So although we love how Lumix gives us everything that no other camera company would even dream of unless they wanted to charge us $40,000 freaking dollars, are they giving too much? Are they devaluing themselves by giving too much sauce? I'm curious to know what y'all think about that. Are they giving away too much? Aaron said, now, if they drop something with all these features plus internal NDs fully stacked to get rid of the mechanical shutter for sports shooters, it's a wrap. It would also cost your grandmother. Tons of custom buttons. The same feeling I had about the S5 II is what I have about the S1 II. The fact that I can go from photo and video, great video in a small body just blows my mind. Yeah, I'll be saying this all the time. People be sitting there complaining. Do y'all realize we have freaking pocket rockets that can shoot? Like, these cameras can shoot 5.9K ProRes RAW I'm sorry, not ProRes RAW. Yes. Hold on, don't give me the line. I know they shoot ProRes HQ. Does it do ProRes RAW internal? I think so. Neither here nor there. The fact that it could do 5.8K 30 ProRes RAW internally. Yeah, I'm right. ProRes RAW internally. ProRes RAW HQ internally. And a camera this small is wild. Wild. You can shoot ProRes RAW internally. 6K 60 internally. In 10-bit. 8.1K open gate internally. Like, we can sit here and complain and moan about these cameras. The reality is, this is wild, the stuff that we have access to. Sony's f2 lenses are next level. Absolutely. I would never, ever speak against that. That 28-70 and 50-150, wow. Lumix just raises the bar, forces other brands to match or lose out. Everybody wins. Agreed. Until Lumix is in the big three, they got to keep punching above their weight classes and giving us all these features. I ain't complaining. I agree. I think Lumix is in the big three. It's my opinion. Is S5 II maxed out? I ordered one while I wait for my S1 II from BH. Think the S5 II will be a solid B cam for a while to come? Yes. Like, just because new cameras come out doesn't make old cameras inferior. For real. New cameras do not change the fact that your old camera still works just fine. Personally, I think the S5 II is maxed, which is why there's an S1 IIe that you can get for $200 more than the S5 IIX and get all of the upgraded stuff. So if you got that type of itch where you just want all of the new stuff like that, the S1 II series, just get the S1 IIe. It's only $2,500, and at $2,500 it's the most complete camera for $2,500. Period. The majority don't know what to do with all those features outside of the select niche few that know what's up, like buying groceries and still ordering out food. That's a fact. 5.8K 60 FPS raw. That's a fact. It's nice that look, we got the Sony shill himself in here saying this. This is crazy coming from Reza. It's nice to see that. Shout out to my boy Reza. No shade. It's nice to see that Lumix doesn't use a cripple hammer. Must be nice for Lumix shooters to have so many options at their disposal. They just need to nail lenses, tracking, and cine bodies. Agreed. Lumix lens roadmap has long lenses, no time frame on release. That tells me a sports type Z8, Z9, A1 style camera is coming. Maybe after the S1 Mark II. Possible. They would have to develop their own sensor because Sony is not coming up off that 50 megapixel sensor for nobody. Is the ProRes RAW internal in OpenGate or 16:9? All right, so I don't know. Sean can tell you, he in the chat. I don't think the ProRes RAW, you can't do ProRes RAW open. I don't know. Sean can tell you. It's what these cameras have so many frame rates, resolutions, aspect ratios. Sometimes I get stuck trying to figure out all of the combinations. Sean can tell you, he in the chat. Yep, so kind of just cross that bridge, giving too much. I think on one hand that might be true unless they have more in store later. Two things can also be true at the same time. That's also very true. Is TerryWarfield still worth it in 2026? I need to upgrade. Nope, that guy is trash. All he does is shoot 4K 120 at f1.2 and yell at people about cameras. Yep, we know. So anyways, that's the Lumix talk, man. I wonder if the S9 is going to get any more firmware updates. That's what I want to know. And also, since I'm going with PL mounts now, I'm not too concerned with the lack of L mount lenses. Also fair. I want to know if the S9, Sean, you in here still, what's up with the S9 getting some love? Or is a new S9 coming anytime soon? Will tight shirt Terry ever wear regular t-shirt? No, you see these? No. Side note, I do wear regular shirts. This is a large. if I was built like a girl like Cam or like Kofi, where he's built like Animal Planet, like if they, you know, if I was built like them, then my shirts wouldn't fit the way they do. But I wear shirts that are according to my size. I wear large shirts. I mean, I can't help that I'm a little swole. I worked hard. So, you know, Cam in a large shirt would probably look like a dress. Kofi in a large shirt would probably look like tight shirt Terry. Kofi needs like a 7X. Cam needs like a children's extra small for his little tiny body. I just wear shirts that are true to my size. I'm 5'10" and a half. Gotta include that half. I weigh like 215, you know? So I wear large shirts. If I get extra large shirts, then I don't like the way extra large shirts fit, because then the shirt's going down to my kneecaps. I don't like that. So the only shirts that fit me are larges, and unfortunately, large shirts still hug the arms, you know? Can't hate me, you know what I'm saying? Like, get in the gym, bro. Get in the gym. We need an S9 II with a mechanical shutter and an EVF. Agreed. Sean, we need an S9 II. Keep everything else the same. I'm fine with everything else. With an EVF and a mechanical shutter. The fact that it's got real-time LUT and all that would make it a daily carry if it had an EVF. I would have gotten the S12E, but it's all back order from BH. The S5 II was used. Yeah, I mean, the S5 II still has one of the best signal-to-noise ratios out there. It still punches way above its weight. Oh, this is whatever, Sean. The updates are always in cycles. The S9 had its time for the period. Now we've shifted to get to the S. Now we've shifted to getting the S12 series up to date. We still have the S5 II, X, and GH7 for Lumix Flow coming. So basically, y'all, the S9 ain't getting a thing no time soon. Yeah, S9 II with an EVF and a mechanical shutter with Lumix Flow and Lumix Lab. I'm selling my daughter for that. No, I'm just playing. But I would love that, for real. But it's not. Because it's not in this small body. It's not. Okay, we like the small body. That's what we like. We just want an EVF on it. And not the EVF that Sony made. Okay, don't put that EVF on here. If you want to do something, make it detachable. If the S9 had a digital shoe, you could have just made a digital EVF. But they put the dummy shoe on the S9. I will never understand that decision, ever. $24 to $60, I love. So good. Hey, we the same size. Haha, I rock a XL though. To the little love handle slim down. You better quit eating all them hot Cheetos, bro. Facts. S5 II is not compact in comparison to the S9. It is a compact camera. Yeah, I don't be remembering none of that stuff. The stabilization takes up about 3/4 of the size of the S9 to keep the ratings we have, which is fair. Keep that godforsaken EVF away from me. No, Kofi, don't be in here trying to diss the EVF now, you little Sony shield. No, don't be trying it now, bro. S1R2 or S12, I'm hybrid 50/50. Man, that's hard. Buy them both. You got it. Ball out. Get them both. No, seriously, if I had to pick between one of them or the other, in all fairness, and again, everybody's different, I think the S12 is the more well-rounded camera. Yes, I would love to have the higher resolution open gate formats. However, I prefer the S12 because of the faster readout. Also, the fact that it does 70 frames per second burst photography and it can keep up is crazy. And for me, 6K 60 is more useful than 8.1K 24. I don't have a need for that. Does having a cage make the S series feel more? I mean, yes, having a cage on any camera makes any camera feel more bulky. I'm about to cook you. That was a dumb comment. I'm cooking you for that, bro. Come on, man. You too good for that. You know this. So adding a cage to any camera makes it bulky. I'm messing with you, but yes, it does. Here's a comparison. Here's with a cage from Condor. Hold on, hold up. Okay, so that's the S1R. And as a matter of fact, let me take the lens off just so you can see them side by side. So this is with a Condor cage on here. This is with no cage on it. And let me take this lens off too. All right, so that's the S1 II, no cage. And S1R2 with a cage. Same camera body, cage makes a huge difference. This can go in a small bag. This you're gonna need some room for. Kofi is shooting the X-Half as his ECAMM. That's funny. Can you show the comparison between ZF and S9? Yes, I will. All right, ZF, this does have a half cage on it. S9, also with the half cage on it. So, let me take lenses off. I hate Nikon because you got to take the lens off backwards than every other camera manufacturer out there. Every other one, you hit the button and spin it to the left. Nikon, you spin it to the right. So annoying. But here's them side by side. So the S9 is considerably smaller than the ZF. The ZF is actually a big camera. Maybe that'll make it even more apparent for you. Yep. Terry, what CF Express do you have? I have Angel Birds, I have Lexars, and I have SanDisk. I have all three. All the S1 II series support Capture One, wired and wireless tethering now. Yeah, I think the grip on the S1. I mean, I don't have huge hands. I don't have like people smacking hands, but I don't have tiny hands either. The grip on the S1, and again, I don't have small hands. I don't have huge hands either. I can easily 3-finger grip with no problem. It's a deep grip. With the cage, I mean, it gives you more to grip onto, but I don't feel like it's a necessity. I use cages because I like to mount up the Focus Pro sometimes. And I just like the protection that cages give you. I should probably get myself back in focus. This is a great question. I think you will be very surprised with how good the S1 series cameras look. They look like cinema cameras. They really do. The main difference is with cinema cameras, a lot of times it's the noise reduction that's changing stuff. Cinema cameras, you can turn off all of that crap and just shoot raw. Yep, same thing I just said. Outside of internal noise reduction, like if somebody showed you a file from the Blackmagic Pixis versus a S1 Mark II, you wouldn't be able to notice the difference. These have cinema level sensors in them, cinema level dynamic range. Obviously, they're not $100,000 camera dynamic range. You know, they're not pulling 17 stops of dynamic range, but like the files out of these look like what you would get from a cinema camera when it comes to how they handle like skin tone gradations, highlight roll off, all of that stuff. The S1 camera. You know what's crazy? I think Sony FX cameras, like the FX3 looks amazing. Obviously, it's more than good enough to be used in productions. But you don't realize, and again, this is not to say that Sony files don't look good. They look amazing. Like Sony files look amazing until you put them next to a Lumix S1 file. That's when you notice the difference. Just in the way like the Lumix cameras hold on to shadow information. Cam has a great video on his channel where he showed like how the Lumix holds on to color information in the shadows, how the highlight sort of roll off from like shadow to mid-tone to highlight. Lumix cameras just handle that stuff so much better than Sony. And again, you would never look at a Sony FX3 file and be like, yo, that's trash. And even next to a Lumix file, it's not trash, but you don't see how much better it could be until you put it next to like a file that's out of like a Lumix camera. Nikon is really good also. Angel Bird, yep. Terry, who in your mind are the big three right now? Lumix, Sony, and honestly Nikon. I thought I had gas with 6 camera bodies. Terry makes me, no, my camera collection is small compared to some people I know. Like, you should see how many cameras Cam has. It's ridiculous. And he just bought another Leica. But again, you got to remember, this is what we do for a living. We test out cameras. So yes, we go through cameras like nobody's business, constantly buying, constantly selling, constantly getting cameras in for review. So yeah, I mean, it's no different than like motorcycle channels. People who have huge motorcycle channels, they have a ton of motorcycles. Just it's part of the territory. If you have an electronics channel, trust me, my dude Sagi, you walk into his space, he got computers, on MacBooks, on, you know. So any channel that's a product channel that has built up an audience probably has an abundance of whatever product type that they work in. Like I have several drones, tons of cameras, tons of lenses. It's part of what we do. I got a cage on my ZV-E10, and I don't care if I'd ever leave it naked ever again. Like you said, it's extra protection. I just like not having to worry about. If I sit this down without a cage, I'm worrying about is the bottom of my camera about to get scratched up. I don't like that, so I could just put it down and not worry about it. For me, cages are worth it. There we go. Yep. I'm telling you, this S1 II is wild, dog. And the S1R Mark II. All right, so here's something interesting. Sean does not recommend Angel Bird and Lumix cameras. Had nothing but problems with their 1 terabyte cards, and the newest versions aren't supported because they use a newer standard of PCIe. Yes, Angel Bird cards get very hot. Sony FX3 overheat, interesting. Plenty of people have had overheating with the FX3. Trust me. Seeing the color test with melanated skin tones is clean on Lumix compared to others. I have to agree. Lumix and Blackmagic, in my opinion, handle brown tones, skin tones the best. It's like on Sony, like when you capture people with brown skin, like obviously brown people have hints of, I mean, all people have hints of red, orange, but Sony skin tones just look like orangish green to me. Lumix skin tones look, and Canon has really good skin tones also. They look more natural. Blackmagic skin tones look very, very natural and rich. So do Lumix. Like Lumix skin tones look on my skin rich. Yep, I just said that. Blackmagic colors look great. Sony, you had to massage the grade so much to get the skin tones where they should be. Yeah, you can get it there, but it takes so much more work on Sony. I only own 2 cameras. You a lie. 2 motorcycles. You a lie. And you own 1 vest and 1 pair of boots, so you need to give us some more. What up, Terry? I hit you on IG from Ohio, but I live in Charlotte. Man, I'll be getting so many DMs. Half the time I don't see them. Hit me up again. Hopefully I see it. And 2 trucks. You do not own 2 trucks. You own 1 truck. After launch of the GH6, I dropped 4 terabyte CF Expression until the firmware update. That's what's up. I use a Pocket 3 with Sony AZ3. What's that, bro? You got that new. What's the AZ3? Anyways, so yeah, what's the AZ3, bro? I need to know what camera that is. I am about the cameras I'm about to sell right now. I'm about to sell my ZVE1 because I don't need it. The S1 Mark II has completely replaced my ZVE1, so I haven't touched it. I'm gonna keep my A7R5. I am gonna keep my Sony lenses. I think Sony makes amazing lenses. But yeah, so that's where we at with the firmware updates with the S1 series. Cameras that are already, in my opinion, the best ones out there got even better today, y'all. Say what you want, bruh, but they got even better. And you probably mad that you can't get one because they all sold out. But I got one. I'll let you use it if you want to. Anyways, oh, 873. Anyways, I know this was the last minute stream, so thank y'all for coming to hang out. We covered everything I wanted to talk about tonight. We talked about the S1R Mark II overheating. We talked about the firmware updates. I didn't go to build, so there wasn't really much to talk about for that. Do we know the price of the paid? Hold on. Do you adapt your Sony lenses for Lumix or rock native ones? There's not many options to adapt E-mount glass to Lumix cameras. Do we know the price of the paid Arri LOG license firmware update? I believe it's $200. I keep saying that color science matters. Yep, good color science makes our job way easier. Facts. I will say I have a much better time grading Lumix files than Sony files, for sure. Sony files, you can get a good look out of them. That's not to say you can't, but you got to massage the crap out of them. Lumix, it's just the way it's just so good. Like, I hate to sound like a shill. I mean, I am a shill, but yep, $199. Hey, Leah, come here. Daughter's incoming. A74, A7CR won't upgrade for a while. Looking to color grade. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, bro. Those are great cameras. Don't feel like because all these new cameras coming out that you need to update. All right, come here. I'm about to wrap the stream up.
Oh, I did.
Yeah. So we want to thank y'all for hanging out with us in the stream today. We did get a super chat. So some people gave us some money. So you want to tell them thank you for you have to talk into the mic.
Oh, thank you guys for giving me
Money.
money.
Doesn't matter.
Money and for supporting me and us and our family. My word?
Huh?
My word?
Hold on, wait. You gotta make sure first that I'm saying nothing else. Let's link up. I'm just going the opposite direction on 15 going north. Hit me up, man. You gonna be on 129th and Eddie Road. You think I'm coming down there? You think I'm coming down there, bro? If I do, you know what I'm coming with. Oh, we got another super chat. Whoop, whoop. Say whoop, whoop.
Woo, woo. I can't say that. Cause cheer.
Okay, we need to thank somebody else for their super chat from Chris Flores. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
We appreciate that.
Very much.
But yeah, you to 129th and Eddie Road. That's what I know where you from, but you think I'm about to come down there, bro? I live in Menor now for a reason.
What state is that in?
That's in Ohio. That's the hood. That's the hood. You can't come down there. I ain't take you down there.
It's crazy. I've been in the hood before with Mom.
You been in the hood before? Tell us all about it. What was it like?
It was just there was seniors.
Huh? Oh yeah.
That's what it is. But then we
Lumix is jam-packed. Absolutely. All right, chat. We about to get up out of here. I'm about to go play some Gray Zone Warfare. So, love y'all. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Make sure y'all check out them last videos. Like I said, I've been putting out a lot of videos for creators. Strategy videos, growth videos, all of that stuff. So make sure y'all check that out. Almost 200,000 subscribers. Whoop, whoop. Yes. And if you have not joined me on TikTok or Instagram, both of them are right down there. Add me on there. Comment from stream, and I will follow you back. If you don't comment from stream, I'm not going to see it. And people be following and unfollowing all day. I don't even really pay attention to followers. I hate that word anyways. But comment from stream, and I will give you a follow back. And I won't unfollow you unless you're on there doing wild stuff that I don't agree with. But anyways, go ahead. Tamara just said it. Look what's on the screen.
took my word. It's okay, I'll share it.
Huh? Hold on, talking to the mic.
You took my word, but I'll share it only with you for one day.
All right. She said she'll allow it, but you still want to say it? All right.
We're gonna wrap this live up, but peace and chicken grease.
All right. You need to brush your teeth. Did you eat your candy? All right, y'all. Much love. We out. Peace. Thanks for joining. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.